Alright, hello. Got back about 2 minutes early from what I expected, but still later than what I'd hoped. Fortunately, sorry about the gap in the middle. I intended to get this all finished in one go, but suddenly ran too long. Just check that the stream's all up and good. Fortunately, we had a good group going before, and now most of those viewers have probably dropped off. Check. You still around, Essus? Because we're gonna come up to... There we go. Yeah, we're about to come up to Lich here. So, let me just double check where I was at. Feel like I skipped over something to quickly get to the Transcendence part. No, that was about it. Okay, so, starting near the end of August, where are we? That's right, yeah. Okay, so we start off the 29th with, this was Skasha's and Hellas's event. Also the first event where we saw Fediel. So, interestingly, as a trade over, pretty sure this was the first event where I didn't record the Proud fight, so I don't actually have footage of that. There's that. Yeah, so I don't have any footage to go with that. But, so, the event itself. So, we sort of talked about how after the midway gap of, like, all the first half of the year events were kind of right, the second half of events sort of fell a little flat, although these last two have been pretty. But this sort of falls into that category where the story was alright. It didn't really advance anything or need to be there. I don't know, it was sort of a middling kind of event. Like, the highlight that everyone remembers was adding Fediel. The plot that went on with Skasha and Hellas and all them, it was, you know, not very big. Kind of 8-episode level, you know? Yeah, this was kind of just an event that sort of happened. Like, there was another dragon and stuff happened with it. Skasha got kind of killed, but sort of not. Yeah, and the interesting thing about this event was the main character was off the island for the entire time. Like, we were with Fediel trying to get into the island, and the whole plot on the island was just sort of happening. I don't know, this sort of feels like one of those events that, yeah, falls into that category of, you know, sort of one of the lower tier events of the year. Was sort of iffy. As for Hellas's 5-star, load. I don't remember there being anything all that great about it. Her force skill's just weird. Like, gravity on a 12-turn cooldown's kind of useless. She got stackable mist, that's something, but besides that, she sort of went to a skill-focused sort of design with her auto-activating skill, wherever it is, every 3 turns, yeah. But, I don't know, even with that, she doesn't really have her place, so sort of weird. But I'm going to try and power through these this time, for the lack of time, because unfortunately I've got another hard out at the next hour. Then we go to Legfest, where we get Naus and Greya. Let me start with Greya, just because I actually have her now. She's pretty good with the 3-turn buffs. 3-turn cooldown buffs, that is. She's good for characters like Danua or even Reinhardt on the backline, just because she can constantly, with those buffs, she can actually keep their own little buff mechanic up permanently. But besides that, none of her buffs are really that impressive, you know. Sorry, there's some more noise again from mowers. She's got charge bar boost, some charge attack boost, double attack, light attack. She's a basic buffer, but it's just that 3 buffs on a 3-turn cooldown that give her use, because she can keep just keep Denure and Reinhard Tsar kind of going. As for Naus, he's one that I don't have, and I believe he was actually kind of bad from initial looks. He has a bit of an assassin skill. He cuts his HP to cut damage, which is counterintuitive as well. Like, if you're wanting to run him in high-level content, you don't want to be killing him. So, I don't know, he's got a weird sort of place. I don't know, I wasn't impressed with him when he came out, and still not really impressed with him now. Anyway, but, interestingly, what do my notes say for the start of September? Oh yeah, we had Fire Guild War at the start of September. That's the main sort of thing there. Then, was this after Guild Wars or during it? Might have been after, I don't know. Either way, we get Elmont and Lich. So, you're still here, SS. Time to talk Lich, your next spark target. Elmont, first of all, he's not really that interesting. Like, still 1 charge diamond for charge attack reactivation, very niche, very gimmicky. Nothing really all that great about him. But that doesn't matter, because the main focus that everyone was interested in with that Grandfest was Lich. And I can remember everyone being sort of surprised to see Lich when we were all hoping for Fediel to come out. Actually, it's surprising that Fediel is coming out, because Lich took the Dark Grand spot, and I mean, we were all kind of expecting that it would be a while before we got back around to the rotation of a Dark Grand. Luckily, they're still pushing her out anyway. So as for Lich, I don't have her. Haven't played around with her enough. But I know that she's incredibly powerful. What is that makes appropriate kind of music for this as well? Can't restore HP. Take 10% max damage each turn, but she has Death's Grace. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's number of activations increase up to 10 times. That's the main thing. And her last skill, opt out, revise, and purifies. Yeah, true. Yeah. At the time, I mean, after Fediel was revealed, I was, not focusing on going for, like, when Lich came out, it was sort of like, no, I'll still save my spark for Fediel. Lich is nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I got her. I mean, the main thing that everyone's interested in, besides just Lich, is just her weapon. This, what was it? It was, yeah, supplement damage and damage cap. Double damage cap on one weapon is great. She lets you full auto Luau, on top of making endgame basically easy mode. Yeah, I knew about making endgame easy mode. I didn't know you could full auto Luau with her. Luau. I'm just unsparking and can't wait. Oh, you already sparked. Oh yeah, it's the last day of, well, not really the last day of this banner, but tomorrow starts Legfest. Ah, cool. Actually, I am close to my frenzy being done, so if I can get that frenzy during Legfest, that'll be great. If I fail to fill that frenzy banner and just miss frenzy altogether, that'll be annoying. But yeah, so okay, which I've got to move on just for time pressing on. And luckily, it looks like there's not too much more for September. Got Charlotte's character skin. We got Cerberus's 5-star, which is pretty nice. I remember when the when it was revealed and people were translating it, they saw she gets triple strike after using 3 skills, and everyone thought it was mistranslated because it was too overpowered. Although, interestingly, even after using her, even with that really strong ability, it's nice for burst. I'd say she's actually at a good sort of position. She's not overly overpowered. Although part of that's coming from her being in Dark. I mean, she's competing against 6. You know, it takes a lot just to try and beat him on pure power, so she can be really strong and still not, you know, break the game. And then, on the 24th as well, we got White Knight. Second Proud Plus fight for the year, and yeah, the only 2 that we'll have for the year. I think they said on the live stream that there was another Proud Plus fight coming in either January or February. I can't remember it now. But yeah, that's right. This one I was actually able to full auto it, which is a real strange change after you know, after like the last couple ones being so tough, especially Gold Knight, and then suddenly along comes White Knight and he's full autoable because his mechanics are just simple. Although even now I can't even remember the mechanics. I'm trying to like look at the notes that I have on the side just to see if I can piece together why it was so easy to full auto. But anyway, hype for Fedior. Also hopium that leaks are true considering next summon release. What are the leaks for the next summon? I heard that there was a summon. Oh, that's right, yeah, the leaks were Beelzebub. If the leaks are true, his 0-star version doesn't sound that great. I mean, he kind of sounds like a worse Hull and Mull summon at 0-star, but obviously Belial got really strong when you FLB'd him, so I imagine Beelzebub will do the same. Alright, let's jump back over. Only got a few things left for the year. New weapon. Oh, sorry, that's the event. What event was this again? I actually can't remember it at first glance. This was... Oh, the Arthur event. Yeah, oh yeah, of course, there's Arthur there. Arthur's event was, so it was kind of like a continuation of the first event with Arthur and, them being trainees under Vayne and them. I would say that event was better than this one, because this one just seemed to have... It felt like it had even less content than the first one, and it tried to focus on the Excalibur storyline, and then it didn't really do much with that. It was just kind of a thing at the end, and I actually was corrected with this. I said something along the lines of Arthur's now a moon weapon user because he has Excalibur, and he can merge with the storyline of the other moon weapon characters. I still actually kind of think that we may end up with a anniversary event with the moon characters also including the Dragon Knights just because of Arthur's involvement. But I was corrected that someone pointed out that at the end of the event he actually doesn't have Excalibur. He uses it for a little bit and then it disappears or something like that. So yeah, it's sort of like the whole point of the event kind of ended up not even fulfilling itself. You know, the whole point was for Excalibur and he didn't even get it. So at best I could say it's kind of like a prologue episode, a prologue event, where if this does go to a anniversary event, then he'll, you know, we've got all that backstory to sort of make that make sense. That's the best I can say for that. Seemed like a rehash event used only to drop some mentions for Merlin. That's right, yeah, Merlin was in it too. And yeah, again, Merlin didn't really do anything. He was just kind of insidious on the side and then disappeared. As for Arthur's character, so yeah, what someone said before about him being the other character with Thunderstruck there, but he still doesn't really do much with Thunderstruck. All allies gain Dark Cut and Unchallenged. That's probably like the only good ability he has. Stackable Light Defense down is kind of worthless without stackable attack down as well. All allies gain Strength, sure. Yeah, this is like his main draw. He can do Paradise Lost with it and stuff like that. But he's, no, I don't know, kind of a weird character. No one really cared about him when he released, and he still doesn't really seem all that great. I mean, it's not like Light is lacking in abilities to do... Oh, wait. No, yeah, Light has plenty of options to do Paradise Lost, including Noah, who pretty much does the same thing. And Drip Market, Percival, and Aglavel's brother. That's right, yeah, they also sort of introduced that. What about his Fate episodes? I don't have him, so I haven't done them. If his Fate episodes actually add to the story and make it better, kind of good. Doesn't really help the event, unfortunately, but at least he's more complete in story-wise. Yeah, totally a setup event. But then we got Azusa as the other character. Another character that I sparked. Switch that over. Oop, not that part. Yeah, another character that I sparked. She actually proved to be pretty good in Guild Wars. For the Win Guild Wars, I was running her, Naru, and Neo as my full auto setup. One of the best things about her was that when the enemy Ogi, she does her mist. So when the boss would clear their debuffs at 50%, she would immediately reapply some mist. Good for that regard. Pretty much she's just a skill damage version of Naru, where if you run her with, you know, Katara and a whole bunch of Ewia beaks, her skill damage is actually pretty comparable to Naru's damage. But yeah, amplified attacks and stuff like that. She's a good character. She's just a weaker version of Naru. Like, Naru just kind of broke the game too much to really compete with. Now, oh, sorry, I still got that one open. Then we had Proving Grounds and got this Wind Harp. Did anyone use this during Guild Wars? I didn't. It's nice to have a Wind Harp that boosts skill damage cap, but it's in the element that already has Ewia beaks. And I mean, you're always just kind of limited for grid space when Wind can easily run a crit grid. So, I don't know, I've never really gotten enough use from it. Oh yeah, then we had, both here and here, we had the Gintama collab. I've never watched Gintama before. The event was good though. I mean, collab events are in their own sort of section. I can't think of a collab event that was really good on its own merits. Maybe the Persona collab event, because it was more focused on like burn and stuff. But most of them are just kind of like, hey, here's a bunch of characters screwing around. Gintama was kind of alright, just because the characters were really, you know, fourth wall breaking and talking about how, like, I mean, I like the plotline of they sort of come into the world and, you know, they expect to just sort of join our crew, and they're constantly on the side not joining it. I mean, yeah, that was a fine little plot point. Overall, I mean, it's just a collab event. As for the characters, were these in the normal sort of realm of collab characters, or more the OP ones? The Fire guy's pretty meh. This guy has stackable mist and gravity. Oh yeah, and he can also give all allies instant charge. So yeah, Gintama, Yorizuya. He's more on the OP side of the collab character kind of thing, at least. So he was alright to get. Yeah, that's true. She had the same voice actor as... Vern and her had the same voice actor. So yeah. So then we've got Halloween. Let me just check my notes in case I've missed anything in between. No, alright. Halloween. I was going to spark at Halloween, but I ended up not, just because these characters didn't really sell me on it too much. I don't mind Kokoro, though. Her skills are fine. There was something about it that I thought was actually kind of cool. What was it? Guaranteed triple attacks. Oh, that's right. Normal attacks deal 3 hit damage, so she's kind of like Valentine Grimnir. Instantly perform attack without using up a turn. Since she does 3 hits, that's actually kind of a 3-hit skill. Well, on top of other stuff. And then she has 6 hits here, 6 hits there. She was good at breaking hit requirements. And yeah, she just has a lot of multi-hits. She was fine, but yeah, it just wasn't enough to sort of sell me on a spark, so I just saved instead. And then you've got Vayne. I think people were more focused on his weapon, from memory. Because Vayne himself isn't really that great. Some damage cap boost. What was his weapon? Yeah, that's right, supplemental damage. Not that great, but I think I saw someone who actually had a grid full of it to try it out. Had the same effect as the Conan collab. Oh, that's right, yeah, the Conan collab. That may actually be my favourite collab. Just because, again, it was kind of like a unofficial sequel for Barrowa's like mystery sort of Sherlock Holmes stuff. I think that was probably the strongest standalone collab story. Anyway, so let's move on quickly. So we got Handsome Gorilla in the side story just in time for Lunalu to have her extra event, as well as 5-star for Lunalu. Let's just start with her real quickly. So her 5-star actually makes her do damage on Ogi. That's a good change. I'm looking forward to that for the next Dark tournament. As for the rest of her skills, like just small little tweaks here and there. It was already kind of alright because she didn't have that Ogi damage, so there was already stuff to kind of work off. But yeah, like, I don't know, her 5-star was fine. As for her event though, I hated it. I don't know about anyone else, but... So, Handsome Gorilla was good because they were writing a story, and you sort of had the focus on them writing it, and then the second half of the event was trying to sell it at a book fair, or like, what is it, Comic Head or something like that, the equivalent of that. Handsome Gorilla was entertaining because it was more focused on the characters. This one was them reading, like, her favourite book, and the entire event was just the plot of the book. There were some funny parts with the art improving over time as they sort of found newer versions or whatever it was. But, you know, it's still... There just still wasn't anything going on. We didn't focus on the characters enough. We had a little bit of Lunalu being weird, but, yeah, there just wasn't enough on... yeah, there wasn't enough on the characters. Too much of it focused on the storyline, and the storyline didn't matter at all. So it just sort of, it felt like a real filler event. But yeah, so as far as, unfortunately, having the little gap in between and also how long I've been going, I can't quite remember, you know, what my assessment of each event has been up until now, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was probably the worst event of the year. It just didn't do anything. Like, I was looking forward to more of the Kotatsu, you know, Harvins and stuff like that. And we didn't get that. But then, so, at the end of... Yo, dog, I heard you like reading stories, so here's a story about a bunch of girls reading a story within a story. Yep, pretty much. But then, at the end of October, we got 2 new characters. Like Lunalu, who is just gimmicky to max. Just, on turn 1, immediately cuts all of her HP down to 10%, but gets triple strike and a little bit of charge attack cap up. She's weird. I don't think she's good, but I mean, if you ignore the other ones and just do 3 turns of triple strike, I guess that's some good burst. But she doesn't really self buff though, so you'd need a buffer with her. And I don't know. I think most burst things work well when the bursters can buff themselves, so you can run more, you know, burst characters. I don't know. Kind of weird. Enyo was the real highlight of this banner, and I actually, in hindsight, I regret not sparking her. At the time, I was sort of thinking, oh, it's too close to Christmas, and I've just got to, like, save up, because there's so many sparks going on. Whereas, yeah, and so I skipped over Enyo, but looking back, I kind of wish I got her, especially because I think she was actually, like, Guild Wars was built around her. What was it? There was something about, she can remove a buff and... What was it? That's right, sorry. At the end of the turn, she does... Oh no, I thought it was the debuff one that did it. Oh no, sorry. When an ally foe removes a buff, she delays. She can remove buffs. Like, she was sort of focused on that, and of course, Guild Wars bosses always buff themselves. Oh no, that's right. She also applied debuff resistance stackable down at the end of each turn. I don't know, there's something about a kit that just looked like it would fit Guild Wars perfectly. But yeah. Oh yeah, and she can also activate Ajax on Ogi. Like, she's the offensive equivalent of Athena, of course, but yeah, I don't know, her kit looks fun, and I kind of would have liked to have sparked her, but honestly, my sparks are getting kind of low anyway, so I probably made the right choice holding off on it. Morning, Nizar. Is Lunalu good with Nihon? I'm not actually sure. She might be. Oh, no, she wouldn't, because triple attack wouldn't work with triple strike wouldn't work with double strike. The most you could do is say, just go for the, fully triple attacked, triple strike stuff, but even then, I don't know. Enyo's fun to use, hard to spark her, because cute design, yeah. Between Enyo, Asuza, Rosetta FLB, Wind had a cushy lineup to handle harder things in more manual setups. I mean, even just Granblue too. She works in every context. Alright, next up, we had Rise of Beast with the uncaps for these spears and, of course, the skin that a lot of people went for. I completely put off going for it. I just decided that, if this ever loads, I just decided that because we had to farm the raid for the hope of getting some of the drops to unlock it, we're eventually going to have, like, when they add in the other skins, it's going to be dropping from the same raid. So I thought, I may as well just farm enough to uncap one spear, and then I'll just get the skin as I farm up the other weapons. So I'm playing the long game for this. I mean, it's a nice skin, but I'm never really all that fussed about skins that don't show off the weapon I'm using anyway, so it was an easy pass for me, and I might be better off in the long run rather than having to farm that, because I heard it was a brutal kind of farm for a lot of people. Okay, so the 11th of the 11th, we get Rosetta's FLB. There were some nice changes. Rosetta's kit was kind of busted to begin with. Just a weird sort of thing where you sacrifice charge bar for kind of mediocre buffs, really. I'd say her new kit is also kind of busted too, where it doesn't cost as much charge bar, but now you don't get the buffs until the buff actually ends. So during Guild Wars, in the... actually, where was Guild Wars? Can I just show the video for that? Kind of, yeah. Hang on, let me pull up the video. So, during Guild Wars, what I found was... now to try and find Rosetta, I probably won't even find it. What I found was the boss died too fast, and, like, here's this one dying around turn 8 or so. Chuck Rosetta on there, it takes 5 turns to get her buff up, and then you end it, so essentially it's turn 6 you get the buffs. That involves her getting hit every single turn, so if she misses a few turns getting hit, it can take up to turn 8 or turn 9 before you get her buffs. For the tournament, I found that whenever I was running her, it was just a pain to try and get her buffs up. I think in the team that I ran her in, I ended up deciding just to cancel it on turn 4 of the buff, just so that we could at least get a few turns of having the buff up. Yeah, it just didn't really work all that well. Which is a shame, because, I mean, they did get the charge bar stuff right. She was able to maintain the buff up pretty easily. What buffs do you get? You get a little bit of, well, you actually get a lot of double attack, a little bit of triple attack. The attack and defense buff's nice, and the 50% echo is great, but it takes quite a few turns to get that, and then, I mean, 5 turns of it's fine, but it's just, you kind of need a long fight for her, and I don't think her kit's really suited for really long fights. Armor's kind of nice, but besides that, she doesn't really have much. I would have liked it if they copied her water version more so, because that's actually a really good kit. Anyway, let's move on, because it's starting to run out of time. The Grandfest, we got Benjamin and Arulumaya. Benjamin's kind of like his fire version where he's all hype focused. They're slowly becoming more and more hype characters, like in Earth especially. We've got Christmas and Syria, who we're going to get to soon. And then you even have Rising Force also boosting the hype, so that's sort of good. Arulumaya, I actually managed to draw her over this Roulette, and I'm looking forward to checking her out, just because, again, characters who have Veil are just good. She also has Dark Switch as well, so she seems pretty suited for high-level content. The buffs she gives as well are really good. Armored, Echo, Data, all that sort of stuff, so... Oh, that's right, and the number of buffs increases upon every cast, so eventually you'll just cast all of those with each one. Yeah, I actually think she's pretty solid for just being a defensive, high-level character. Alright, so, then, the event that most people care about from this year, Marionette Stars. I think it's safe to say it was a pretty good event. It set up a lot of things. It was interesting that by the end of it, there was so many cliffhangers left over. And, you know, a lot of plot lines that sort of were played through, like Fioretta. Her plotline was kind of played through, but not really revealed or anything like that. So she's still technically a cliffhanger, and yeah, got all that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward to them making that a anniversary event, because it would fit really well. This thing could be sort of on the equivalent of the Society or Eternals sort of plot lines, where, you know, a bunch of really powerful people and high stakes sort of plots. I'm a little iffy about making Feather and Randall moon weapon users, though. I mean, it makes sense to add some existing characters into them, because they've got a lot of weapons to sort of get through. But, I mean, I've never really been a fan of Randall. Feather's kind of alright, I guess, but yeah. So, with that, you guys can mention some more about the event, but I'm going to quickly move on, because it's now 10 o'clock and I'm very close to finishing. Randall's character, kind of alright with charge attack reactivation and stuff like that. Boost to damage cap and everything. He's not bad, but also not the most... Like, he's a very offensive character in Wind that already has Naru. Like, all Wind characters have to sort of compete with Naru now. And then we also got Ensuria. She's fun. I was using her in my Lucy high-level team, just because Saintly Veil gives you Water Switch and reduces damage taken. It also works as Veil. This was really good for the setup before Overchain, because in Earth you're going to be oging with the Xeno Sword to get that Water Switch, but you're sort of saving your Ogi beforehand. So just having this was perfect for that little run up to it. And then Double Strike was also good, just for a little extra damage to break your labour. However, besides that, she's just a regular Ansuria who, on dodge, heals and does something. This one extends hype. She's alright, but I feel like she could use a little bit more. And that's actually why I've now replaced her with Satyr, because she does that little bit extra that I needed her to do. Why design new characters when you can just recycle some of the old ones? Cygames has always been a master at recycling. Yeah, pretty much. Although, like, I don't mind it too much. I just wish, like, if it made sense. Like, Feather is a puncher, so of course he gets a fist, that's fine. But, Randall getting a sword was weird. They should have just, you know, picked a sword user instead. How about, like, you know, what's Eliza's boyfriend, whatever his name is, the Arune guy. He's a sword user, he could have fit into that. I don't know why he came to mind, guess just because he's Wind. So, one thing here, this was the start of the Christmas banner. We got one Christmas character and one non-Christmas character. I've actually noticed that someone put up this list of all the Christmas characters, and over the years we've sort of been getting more and more. Last year we got 3 SSRs, 1 SR, and a summon. This year we only got 3 SSRs. We've actually gone down, and it's because of Randall being here on this banner. If he was gone, we would have gotten the normal amount, and I don't know why they mixed him in with only 1 Christmas SSR. Yeah, the fist is a claw weapon. Doesn't really suit Feather, but at least it's kind of on theme with him. Yeah. Alright, so let's quickly skip on. Now, on the 3rd of December, we got the Super Bahamut raid. I'm pretty sure that in the news it actually said this thing would be coming in November, and, you know, then it was December 3rd. But, like, late November it was predicted for. That's right, Stan, thank you. Stan was Eliza's boyfriend. So, Super Bahamut, just like Belial, I've barely touched this, barely looked at it. At least this is newer than Belial. I probably should have looked at Belial a bit more by now. This raid is brutal. There's just so much stuff going on. His auto attacks rip through you. You need like 50 million damage to cancel omens, 20 million damage. Just an insane amount of stuff going on. But, you know, stuff like that does make Siete's 6-star stuff a little more desirable, I guess. Oh, that's right. Before we go to the weapons, we got these random 3 R characters getting... Oh, well, one R character, 1 SR, 1 SSR. But just some random characters got some weird little rebalances, and they were very small and completely unannounced. Okay, so the weapons. The Bahamut weapons, it's a fine upgrade, you know, just a little bit more attack, a little bit more defense, boost to allies' attack and max HP based on the number of characters in the party, so just a little extension of this. Actually, sorry, that one also boosts all allies, so even if you're running it, like if you've got a team with 1 human, 1 draft, and then an Arune, that Arune is still going to get a little bit from this, so that's at least nice. It actually makes the Bahamut weapons a little better in, you know, more mixed parties. The Ultima weapons, obviously I haven't gotten to these yet, because Super Bahamut's impossible. But what did they get again? They got some nice little things, like damage cap, amplify, turn it into a seraphic weapon. All these cool little things, so... It's worth trying to get Bahamut, at least, like, Belial wasn't really worth trying to get through, but this one's at least, there are rewards for getting through it. SS is saying, to be honest, I'm glad they're reeling things down. Having too many limiteds released at the same time makes things a hell to go through, even when it comes to the NET. Have they been winding it down, though? Like, I would need to see previous years compared to this for... Oh, sorry, you're talking about limiteds. Yeah. For some reason I was thinking grands. Yeah, you're right, but I mean, come on, man, it's Christmas, and there's, you know, it's 1 month a year where we actually get these characters, sort of like Valentine's Day, where they only release a few characters there. If they wind down summer characters, I'd be fine, but there's just so few Christmas characters. I guess splitting it between these 2 banners, I agree with you on that. You know, you'd hate to, like, spark on one... Well, actually, that's what happened to me. I sparked on this banner for Ansuria, and then they released Chicken, and so it was a bit of a mix, a bit of a rush for both. Okay, really quickly, we've then got the Doraemon collab. This then falls back into that same thing I was talking about with collabs, where they're kind of they don't have much direction, and this is what Doraemon was. It was sort of like every chapter was focused on a new gadget, and that was kind of it. There wasn't really an overarching plot besides the bandit at the end, who was all, you know, mastermindy and stuff, like, oh, I've been there through every single chapter collecting stuff, and now I'm gonna make my move, and everything like that. And that was quickly defeated. I don't know, the event was sort of meh, but I sort of assumed that from collabs, so any little good funny moment or something like that is fine. As for Doraemon, really interesting that he's actually kind of good when he's a sub-ally and can activate one of these skills, so like Delay, or Charmed with Mist, or Thunderstruck, or Time Stop, or stuff like that. Like, he's actually pretty neat on the back line. You know, even if he's not great, he's actually got his little niche here. How can I spark so often? I 20 box every event each month, and then I, you know, go hard in Guild Wars and get the extra crystals. But I'm completely free to play. Like, all the crystals I get are from, you know, just every little bit of crystals they offer in the game. I also like plan my sparks pretty well. Like usually try and spark on a Magnifest or a Roulette or something where you got free draws that discount the spark. You know, like for Legfest, if you're sparking Tiger or Fedial, you're only going to spend about 200 draws as opposed to 300 just before the free draws we have. So those little bits sort of make it up. If you get a few sparks during the year where it's only 200 to 250, you can get a free spark just out of what you save. Oh, that's right. We also got this guy from the collab too, Nobita. He's worse than Doraemon, but again, he's got this sub-ally thing, and apparently it's better than Silver because it's when a light chain burst activates. I think Silver is only on a 4 chain, whereas he's any chain burst, so it technically goes off more often. But, I mean, he's just light Silver, really, and honestly kind of meh. Doraemon as a collab was real weird for starters. You guess they'd done a Zombie Idols collab or some other more popular anime instead. Oh, that's right, yeah, people were pushing for, what is it, Zombieland Saga or something. I think there was also some other thing where it was like the 10th anniversary of Cinderella Girls or something, so we're kind of expecting that collab as well. Although, yeah, we've got the Horse Girls collab coming up soon, at least. It's just surprising. I haven't heard many people spark on the Azusa banner or, like, on the Enyo one. To be honest, in Endgame, you can get a spark every 3.5 months. Yeah. I've been trying to work out what I roughly average at, and I think I can get, like, 4 or 5 sparks a year, so it's about every 3 or so months. Add in, like, a few discounted sparks on banners and Magnifest and stuff like that, and you can get the 5th one out. Okay, so now, wrapping up towards the end of the year now, we have Christmas, and this is after the live stream at this point. Yeah, the live stream was on the 11th and the 12th, so then on the 14th, we have these two characters. Altairs, I mean, people are saying he's pretty much just Summer Cagliostro, so he's good in that regard. It would depend, though. I want to say that Water has more options for crest generation than Fire does. I mean, Fire's got Flaitato. What else? Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I feel like Water has more reliable crest generations. But, I mean, he's still Summer Cagliostro, so he's powerful. He's got this 50% Echo, 15% damage cap, Keen. Just depends if he's got the right sort of setup for it. The average income hasn't really changed. We get around 75 draws a month, give or take, depending on the slow months events. Yeah. God, with Mahira, you can break bubs and fast on legs even better now. Yeah, so let's move on to Mahira. Sparked her, obviously. I want to keep my Zodiac collection up, but Mahira is actually really good. So again, like Mishra at the very start, she's got this infinite duration buff she can put on each individual character, and just to speed it up, after turn 10, every skill casts twice. So after turn 10, you can pretty much cover the whole team with this. It's a good little buff. Just, you know, attack, defense, a little bit of dodge stuff, but, you know, 4 hit damage upon dodging. So she kind of gives the whole team counter dodge. Her second skill is great. I was saying before, I've seen some people do Gilbert with this because it's like 4 debuffs as well as a delay. A lot of stuff going on there. Then she also has an extra debuff, a permanent debuff with this one, which gives you know, plain damage every 12 million damage. I've actually seen, I saw some video of someone setting up this really high skill damage setup where they got Io to just explode, and then a whole bunch of henpecks went off after it because it was just so much damage going off at once. So I think you're going to see Chris Mahira used in a lot of setups going forward for that kind of craziness. Speaking of which, I actually had this set up. Let me change it over. And yeah, so like I set up a EO bomb setup to test out with Mihira. Killed Fedior from 75%, but I didn't use my my 5th Kirin summon, so definitely could have started earlier than that, and probably, I mean, with a little bit more skill damage, you could probably one-shot Fedior, although you still need to get to turn 12 or so just to get the summons off cooldown anyway. But yeah, Mihira's pretty good. As far as like, obviously next anniversary we're going to have the seasonal pick tickets, and there's going to be a whole bunch of questions on those. I reckon Mihira's up there as one of the choices for that. Yeah, because like, she's got a lot of offensive damage, but she's also got a lot of defensive skills on that second and third one. So yeah, she's not bad. I'll need to go through all the seasonals just to double check if she is actually the best one. But let's skip along. So we got the Jean character skin. Here we had the Choco war start, and we got the R skin for Katara. I love this skin. I'm glad that I finally got a hatless skin for Katara. Although the only problem is, you know, just her laying on the bed the whole time, but oh well. Good skin. We got the Osiris raid. I played that for about 1 day and haven't touched it since. Unfortunately, the weapons are primals. We are going to get some skill selection for these coming up at least, so they'll be a little better then, but for the moment it's just sort of like, I don't know, none of the weapons are really that great, and the raid's really easy to kill, so haven't really done much with it. We also got the balance updates for the dark characters. A few of them got some nice things. I'd say Cagliostro's the best of the bunch, just because she's got Dispel Cancel now. She has Unchallenged, so Dark has another way to do Paradise Lost. She's got Delay, which can activate twice. She's really become a high-level character. So yeah, she's pretty good. And then, lastly for the year, let me just check my notes. Sorry, there's one. Actually, there's 2 more things that I want to get to. Let's quickly do this though. Lancelot and Seda. I can never work out how to properly say that. Lancelot's fine. And how do I delete that? 1 second. You go away. Yeah, Lancelot's fine. Charge effect reactivation. He gives himself 50% echo, 20% cap up. His buff's nice. He, you know, can do good stuff there. Mist and everything. He's a strong attacker, but I don't know. There's something about his kit that just doesn't look right to me. Oh yeah, sorry. He also has unworldly damage. I guess you could say he's kind of a better Water Zeta, in a way. Water Zeta does have an assassin move, though. But he's got a whole bunch of echo and cap up. I guess you could say he's like the Narmea equivalent of Water Zeta, in a way. I mean, he's strong, but... yeah, he's strong, but... I don't know. I think what's really missing is just... tech. Like, he needs something on him. I mean, he has Stackable Mist, but he needs, like, just a little bit of something. Maybe a delay or something like that. He brings damage, a lot of it. He's fine, not too powerful. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that I'm sort of swayed by Grand Naru. Like, she set the standard for a grand character who's attacking. You know, Lancelot does good damage, but he's just not at the same level as Naru. And as I said, we're basically done for available releases for the Anitech. The best picks will likely be Christmas Chicken, by Naru, I guess you mean Christmas Naru. Oh yeah, previous years, yeah. Christmas Anemone, or some busted summer unit. That's the thing, I feel like there wasn't many busted summer units this year. We kind of like skipped by on that, pretty well. Oh wait, Summer Shalom might be worth going for though. Grands are always on the table, but I wouldn't Anitix a Grand. You can spark any other time. Not even just sparking Grand characters, but Grands always overlap Magnifests and Roulette, so if there's a grand character you're not totally set on, you'll probably just get them for free at some point. Not to mention, it's always worth having some grands in the bank just for when, you know, if there's like, imagine a banner comes out and there's a whole bunch of seasonals that you want or something like that. So you go to spark them and you get them and you're maybe 20 rolls away from having a spark. Then it's good to have some character that you can just say, yeah, I'll be happy just getting them and go for them. Mostly since he doesn't bring too much else, fair point. Yeah, about the Lancelot. To be fair, like I was saying that, Naru doesn't actually bring anything besides just raw damage, but like I was saying, Naru just has more raw damage. Oh, fair point to the comparison, yeah. So, and then lastly we have Sata for the year. Video I just released. She's found a good spot in my Lucy team. I found that if you use her first skill in the setup for Overchain, that sort of works well, where you don't really need to do too much damage there. You know, it's fine to slow roll into 50% and it gets her Ogi buff going. Then she just, pretty much every turn, like after you get past the OC and you can actually keep Ogiing normally, she's just constantly pumping out Stackable Mist. She's dispelling Lucy so we can't get any stacks. She's got a heal constantly going. Like, I'm pretty healthy in this fight. She's really great for Lucy. She's probably great for any high-level content that has a whole bunch of buffs to dispel and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Summer Kimbira. I always forget the summer characters who are at the start of the year, but you're right. Kimbira and Monkey are both in there. Shalom, Ilnot, Summer Core, whereas a previous year pick, yeah. Valentine Aglavale, Valentine Grimnir, yeah. Oh yeah, Valentine Clarice. Still don't have her, and yeah, she's still pretty good for high-level stuff. So yeah, still like plenty of stuff around there. Let's jump back over here. How am I going to do this one? Let's go to here. So, I don't actually want saying anything. Let me just... So, this last event, the Old Bond one. Perfect. So this event was pretty alright. It was very much a prologue event. Like, they're definitely going to do something else with this later, because this was just an event where every chapter was a new trial from a new dragon, and those little trials introduced us to the characters. Every trial introduced us to the new to the dragons' personalities and stuff like that. You know, like after this event, we know all the characters, and it would be good to see them in a proper event that actually utilizes them. So yeah, like, it's definitely not the best event of the year, but it was a pretty solid event. Like, it's not as good as Marionette Stars, not as good as Stay Moon. Debatable if it's better or worse than the Summer Zodiac one, just because that was fun. But yeah, this was technically, I used to count the end-of-year event for the next year when it actually started on New Year's Eve. Now it sort of starts a few days beforehand, and I mean, the event's going right now. I also skipped, what is it? It was the Zoe and Robomi event. I skipped that one from December 2020. Yeah, 2020. So just to be consistent, I'll put this one on here. But yeah, you're right that it mostly goes into January, and I used to consider them January events, but yeah, now it's sort of like pushed back enough that it's sort of here. But yeah, just sort of brief talks about it. Actually, one thing about this year was we didn't get a single event that had a minigame. And I would have liked, you know, some of... Especially this event. This event would have really benefited from a minigame, because it's all about doing trials. So, you know, one of the trials could have been one of those things. Old Lang Syne. Isn't the Choco Wars Old Lang Syne? Like, did that one has the story of this year's Old Lang Syne. But yeah, that one hasn't actually concluded. That concludes like tomorrow or something, where we get the final part of the story. But yeah, so anyway, Old Bond, pretty alright event, just a prologue event, and it introduced all of us to Galleon, so I look forward to seeing more of her. That was a surprise too, because when we were calculating all the male and female dragons, it didn't look like she would be in there. Now let me jump back over here, because we have... Maybe. I mean, they're still working on other stuff. I don't know how it would affect it that much. But yeah, so... last thing, where can I go to pull this up? I don't really have anything for this. Unless I just go here and pull up something related. Nah, okay. Yeah, last topic for the year, the Roulette. A really weird change. Oh yeah, and I completely forgot to do this. I completely skipped over it. So back on, it was in my notes, but it obviously wasn't in these wiki notes, so I went past it. Where was that? It was August, wasn't it? I think it was August, but actually I don't have it in my notes. Well, either way, around midway through the year, we got the Summer Fortune, and that was a bit of a clusterfuck. That, I don't know, I still maintain my opinion from back then that it was poorly sought out, where, like, the prizes for Tier 2 were just so huge, and the fact that, like, 20 or 30% of the player base managed to win Tier 2, previous, you know, they've done previous, they've done previous, what do you call them, lottos and stuff like that at Granblue Fest and stuff like that. And it's like the first place prize has always been something like a gold bar, or, you know, even just a Lucy summon or a Bahamut summon, you know, nothing too over the top. But even then, it would only be like 1 or 2 people winning that. It wouldn't be, you know, 20 to 30% of the player base. So I maintain my position that, like, they just screwed it up by adding too many rewards at a tier that too many people could get. And so, yeah, like, obviously there was a lot of fallout after that. I'm still a bit salty that I'm technically 1 spark behind a lot of people, even with how much I save up. You know, like, I could probably do a Valentine's spark if I had 1 more spark. You know, stuff like that. But, I mean, besides that, everyone sort of knows about this and everything related to that. So, we jump on to the Roulette. And the Roulette seems to have been a response to the backlash from the Lotto. Suddenly, now instead of everyone having their own draws each day, we've all got the same draws. A lot to go over. One, I'd say everyone having the same draws has been okay so far. We've only had 1 day where we got a 10 draw, whereas, you know, in the past, I've had multiple days of 10 draws. So I think we actually have more draws with this method, so that's kind of a benefit. But they've completely neutered the Gachapin Frenzy. You know, like, the Frenzy used to give us... hang on, actually, I know what I can put up in as a picture. The Frenzy used to give us... Well, sorry, it used to give us the benefits if it was coming from... it used to give us the benefits if it was coming from, like, the amount of draws we got, as well as, you know... Oh, no, sorry, not as well as the SSRs, that's a new thing now. So, like, if you got the 10 draw, yeah, that sucks, but you could still get Gachapin Frenzy from that and, you know, like, essentially offset your own bad luck with that sort of stuff. Now suddenly, now that it's based on the SSRs, and because they're actually giving us better draws, you know, like we got a 50 today, that's pretty nice, but it's really hard to actually get any Gachapin Frenzy bar from that. I remember in the past, I'd usually average around 2 Frenzies, maybe even 3 Frenzies per Roulette. I haven't even gotten 1 this Roulette, and since we're now in Legfest and everything like that, I don't know if I'm even going to finish my Frenzy bar. So it's it's just a weird thing where it's like they've sort of added more stuff, but they've also made it a little bit. Well, they've added a little more draws, but they've kind of ruined the the way the roulette worked previously. I've also noticed as well that the Gachapin doubling up each draw, that's happened maybe like twice or something. Again, for the past, I think we got the rock, paper, scissors double up a lot more frequently. The only difference, though, I guess, is that in the past, like you were doubling up a 10 draw, whereas we're getting like 50s and stuff like that now. Anyway, so I've rambled enough about that. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Where does the conversation start? Sorry, just going through the chat. Pure Chaos, Reddit exploded. That's about the previous one. Okay, so the roulette didn't need this change, but it's not a bad one since everything is basically rigged. Yeah, that's sort of what was going on about with, like, it's definitely rigged with like the amount of draws we're getting, but it's. I would have kind of liked the previous one where like getting the frenzies and stuff like that was fun, and I mean it worked as a perfect sort of offset for bad luck. Now it's just a weird sort of thing. I think someone in our crew chat was saying that before you had an offset for bad luck by getting the frenzy, now you don't really have an offset for bad luck because like one person could get 4 SSRs from 50 rolls, and you could get 2 SSRs. You're less lucky than them, but the way the frenzy now works is if you get 0 SSRs, you get some bar. If you get 1, you get a little bit of bar. If you get 2, you get no bar. So it's such a low floor for the the frenzy mechanic, the offset to luck, that now it's sort of nullified that, and you've kind of gone back to it being unfair, with some people can get a lot more than others. Here we get to see Gachapin doing a bunch of challenges. Actually, yeah, I've actually been enjoying just watching the videos. That's the best part of this roulette so far. Just, watching their stupid antics. They should have leaned into the Gachapin Frenzy more instead of whatever this is. Yeah, I enjoy the Gachapin Frenzy mechanic. I would like to have seen it more. In fact, like, they even had the Muku Frenzy, and even in previous iterations, I barely saw that. Just because if you got 2 or more rolls into a Frenzy, you pretty much ruined your chance of a Muku. You had to like get it on the first draw. But yeah, like I would have liked to have seen them improve Muku Frenzy a little bit instead of this. I'm not even halfway to Frenzy. Luckily, so this is my bar on the screen. If I can just get a few good ones in the next banner. Actually, I think if I look, there we are. I think this is what my bar is actually like now. Where was I? Sorry. Our luck is actively working against us. Yeah, it actually feels kind of bad drawing SSRs now because it's like screwing over your frenzy bar. I think the sum is more neutral now. Sum of like total draws. Yeah, I don't think it's bad, but it's kind of sad not having the weird roulette rants and jokes. Yeah. Honestly, I despise the new system. I blame the entire summer event last time. Yeah, again, kind of wish we just didn't have that summer event. It screwed everything up. In terms of rolls, we should be okay to follow the last roulette on top of much higher highs. Last year's Salt Race had an average of 400 rolls per player. Yeah, so how come you're not doing the Salt Race this year? Is it just because of everyone having the same rolls? I mean, it does kind of cut down on the fun of it, but I mean, there's still a little bit of variance in it. But yeah. That was actually one of the first things I thought about when this change happened. I was thinking that just immediately screws with your Salt Race. Frenzy also definitely doesn't work as intended. I rolled an SSR on a 20 and got bar, while my friend rolled nothing on 20 and didn't. Oh really? That's even weirder. I thought I'd worked it out with the whole 0, 1 and 2 sort of thing. But yeah, annoyingly, to expand on that, it doesn't even scale with stuff. So the day that we got the 100 rolls, it was still the same thing of if you drew 1, you got a little bit of bar. If you drew 2, you got nothing. And really hard to get lower than 2 SSRs in 100 draws. I Sorry, there was one other thing that I was gonna bring up about that. Oh yeah, in the lead up to it, everyone who was watching the live stream, every translator and everything like that, I'm pretty sure they all read it as you'll get extra draws from Gachapin and Muku doing the whole, like, you know, their little extra challenges. So we were all assuming it was just going to be bonus rolls on top, and then suddenly it comes along and it's like, oh no, that's actually the only draws you get. I also find it weird that the draws go live at 5 a.m. each 5 a.m. each morning, and then it's like 7 a.m. when they actually do the drawing to show if you get double up or not. But if you've drawn at 5 a.m., you've already seen whether you got a double up or not. I don't know why they didn't just release that video at the time that the draws change over. But yeah, so a lot of weird things about this thing. I mean, safe to say it seems kind of half thought out. And Nessa says, in relation to the Salt Race, some friends quit. Have to do it with just 4 people and 6 accounts total, yeah. Excuse me. Alright. And that pretty much brings us up to where we're at now. That's the main sort of thing. So then tomorrow the banner changes to Legfest and we get Tiger. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this year. Bring up that... off. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this year. So that's the whole 2021 year in review. Some interesting things, some OP characters, and this has been kind of fun going back through it. The extra is them picking the little straw, yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get what you mean. Yeah. I guess that was just a misunderstanding from the translation. There's, Sigrun, with the whole, it's for the Japanese playbase who are still asleep. I'm pretty much on Japan time. I'm only 1 hour off, and I still managed to wake up before they do the drawing. I'd like them to go back to the old roulette, but I'm still kind of optimistic just watching this play out. You know, like, at the end of it, it may end up being that we got some good stuff from it. I feel like they need to, like, if they want to keep doing this thing going forward, they really just have to fix the way the frenzy bar works. That's the only real thing. If they even just bring back the way it used to work with, you know, the lower your draws, the more bar you get, have that on top of the SSR thing, then that could be good. Because, yeah, like, we used to get 2 to 3 frenzies per roulette, and we haven't even gotten 1 yet. That's, like, really out of whack. But anyway, I'm well over time, so I'm going to have to end the stream there and quickly race off. So, thank you everyone for coming. I'm glad that I did it this way. I was thinking of making it just as a video, and the live stream format worked so much better, especially with how long this went for, this stream itself. The previous one was like 3 hours. This one's been going for... Where's the uptime? Oh, apparently... Wait, no, not 2 hours. I don't know. Been going for like an hour or something. Yeah. So that, if I had made that as a proper video, that would have been a hell to edit, and I wanted to get this out before New Year's Eve, before we get Tiger in and it starts invalidating all the stuff I've said and whatnot. So, yeah, this was a fun little stream to do, and I'll definitely do it again next year. But thank you everyone for coming. They could just increase the amount of bar you get since it's just for a single SSR. That could do it as well, yeah. The amount of bar is just way too low. And also, I'd also like to see them raise the SSR amount a little bit too. But yeah, anyway, cool. Thank you everyone for coming. And have a good New Year's. And I look forward to watching SS's Spark of Fedial. And then we'll probably both be sparking Tiger in a few days. But yeah. Cool. See you all later. Happy New Year.